Welcome to Get Wed,
a podcast to plan your wedding by.
I'm Katie.
And I'm Kerrie.
And we're both here as professional photographers
and brides-to-be to help you plan your big day.
Each week we'll discuss a topic that you'll encounter along your wedding planning journey.
And with the help of fellow industry experts, we'll navigate this crazy wedding world
together. Hi everybody.
Hi everyone. Welcome back to season 4 of Get Wed.
Yeah, so 4 seasons in, I can't believe that, we've managed to do that many.
We must be professional podcasters by now, surely.
Yeah, surely. We might qualify for something.
We can only hope.
So we hope you've been really well, and we've been super busy over the summer.
Yeah, wedding season has flown by and we're now heading into the winter. But we're back a little bit later than we had originally planned, mainly because Katie has some very exciting news. So I'm just going to hand over to her.
Yeah,
to let her tell you it.
Yeah, can't quite believe it myself really, but we are having a baby. So having a little boy in December. So that's kept me equally quite busy during the summer as well. So
not only are you scrabbling to finish your work, but like you're nesting and getting ready for baby.
And growing massively. So
You should stand up and show everyone your bump.
Oh, I can try and do it with my headphones in.
Yay, big bump.
So that's why I've got a big puffy face if you're on YouTube.
It's pregnancy glow.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the glow that everyone talks about, but it's not really come yet. So but no, it's really, really exciting. So this season's going to be a little bit different, isn't it, Kerrie?
It is, because Katie's going to take some maternity leave because it's well deserved. So it's going to be a little bit different. Katie's going to join us for this episode here just to check in with you all, and then she won't be back until she's after her that doesn't make any sense, and then she won't be back until after her maternity leave, so she's had a bit of time to spend with her little baby boy, and then we should be back and running later next year together. But this season's still going to carry on. It's just going to be me and my own though.
Oh,
sorry,
sorry, Kerrie. I've really let Kerrie down.
You haven't at all. I think you're allowed to have some time off. Don't worry. But I hope you don't all get a bit bored of my voice. But I will still have guests and things on. It's just I might sound a little bit lonely without Katie.
Oh. I'll have to nip in every now and then and just.
But she'll still be in our Facebook group, so if you wanted to keep up to date with Katie and her baby happenings, I'm sure she'll keep you updated in there. So come along and join us, which you can find via our website, which is getwedpodcast.co.uk, and then you'll find the Facebook link in the top navigation bar. So come and join our little tribe.
Yes. No, it's going really well in there, isn't it, Kerrie? We've had lots of people from all around the world, actually, quite a lot of Americans
that really
joining
surprised me. It surprised me that people that aren't just local are listening.
So it's so lovely to sort of see your point of view, what you want to hear about, and what you think of the podcast. So do join on there with us.
And lots of times the comments that people make in there actually helps us with producing the episode. So if we're kind of struggling for ideas, we'll go in there and ask, and then we'll be like, oh, that's a brilliant podcast idea. So all the kind of episodes coming up in this season have been suggestions from people in the group. So make sure you go in there and let us know what you want us to rabble on about, really.
Yeah.
Rabble? Is that a word?
Yeah. Definitely rabble. Hopefully informative raveling from us. So Kerrie, so what have you been up to this summer? Have you been super busy with your weddings as well?
Yeah, so I've just kind of reached the end of my busiest part of the season. So everything's slowed down a bit now, which is nice. You kind of get to catch up on your editing, and just as it starts to turn a bit colder as well, you can just cozy up in your office and just spend all day in front of your computer.
Yeah, and Kerrie's got a brand new office as well, so you're looking very jazzy in the background
tag modelling my new rug. So I've moved into a new office, so it's all very exciting. But the weddings this year have been really, really fun. We thought it might be fun to talk about things that we've seen this year, have a little summary of 2017 weddings to kind of kick off the new episode of Get Wed. So Katie, what have you noticed a lot of, or what have you really enjoyed from your weddings this year?
I think that the sort of country vibe, maybe because we're sort of based in Suffolk and Essex, is still very much there. So quite natural, lots of sort of church weddings and marquees. But then some quite cool new aspects. So one thing I really liked was seeing lots of metallics, so lots of golds and silvers, and even a bit of perspex as well, which I thought was really cool. So I quite like that.
I've seen a lot of that I follow a calligrapher online. I think you might have actually told me about her.
Yes.
Like she always posts videos of her like sign writing.
Yeah, it's kind of addictive, isn't it, watching those? I'm
Yeah,
terrible. I get really like stuck in like a little loop of like
yeah. And I'm
watching.
like, why am I sitting here watching this?
Yeah. But
But
yeah,
yeah,
so
that's always
I
impressive.
really like
That's really
them
good.
because you had a bit of metallics and stuff, didn't you, at your wedding?
Yeah, so I spray painted everything in sight copper.
Oh, I love that. I bet that looked really nice.
Yeah, it did look nice, especially against all the kind of green. And we had a marquee, so it was obviously very naturals and whites and greens and stuff. So throwing a bit of metallic in there, and my bridesmaids were in gold, so it's nice to have a little bit of shimmer.
Yeah, I do like metallics. I think they look really good, and lots of kind of foliage and greens and stuff as well, which looks
Yeah,
really good. Um, and then some also quite cool stuff as well. So even had a big blow up elephant, which was really cool at one wedding.
I would need you to explain this because I saw this photo pop up when it must have been when you kind of previewed the wedding over on Instagram, and then I had to really double take that wasn't a real elephant.
Yeah, it was really cool. So basically, they got engaged abroad and on an elephant.
Mm.
And then the dad, as a surprise, hired this humongous, probably bigger than an actual elephant, like blow up elephant as a surprise at the wedding. And I think it was actually one that had toured with like the Rolling Stones or something. So it was
Oh,
like it
really?
was used for like a concert or something. So it was really dramatic. And then he'd
Mm.
done like a personalised like little like ring on it, and oh, it was so sweet. So that was really really cool. So yeah, we got some really cool pictures of that. So I think that's really nice. Like not only is that a really cool surprise from the parents, which is
Mm.
quite rare, like to do such a thoughtful thing, but it
Yeah.
looked awesome. So yes, that's really nice when people, and they had acrobats and stuff as well at the
Did
wedding. So
they?
it's really
Wow.
nice when people absolutely think outside the box like that.
Yeah, that's like completely out of the ordinary of anything I've ever heard, but it sounds amazing as well. Like, where do you even go to start looking for an inflatable elephant?
Yeah, God, I don't have a clue because that must be quite a lot to hire, I assume.
Yeah.
But yeah, and all the guests loved it. They were all doing like pictures of it and stuff, so
Mm.
it was really cool. So they had quite a lot of outdoor space, so then it's ideal. So if you've got kind of a good space to fill, then it's
Yeah.
cool. And yeah, and they both loved like sort of circus tricks and stuff. So they got these acrobats to come in the evening, just when you sort of get that quiet bit, but as the room sort of turned into nighttime.
Yeah.
So that worked really nicely. So that was a cool one.
That sounds really fun. I love it when people just go completely different like that. But
Yeah.
sometimes it's hard, isn't it? Because if you haven't seen it before, you don't think about doing it.
No, exactly. And only because we
Mm.
kind of experience weddings and we know you have that quiet point or something, then
Yeah.
oh, it might be quite cool to do something. But yeah, most people, you don't know at all.
Mm.
You're just going for the traditions, aren't you? So
Yeah. I'm one of those people as well who's not very good at coming up with brand new ideas, but when I see something, I can put my own spin on it.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
I think that I'm not very much. I think I'd struggle to be the what's the word, like the trend setter
yeah,
of
yeah.
something newer. But it's really cool. It's really cool when you come across people who do something completely wild like that. So that's fun.
What have you
I
seen quite a lot of, Kerrie?
I haven't had any inflatable elephants, unfortunately, so I can't compete. You win the quirky award. But I did have a bride who wore a red dress this year,
Oh, that's
so that was
nice.
interesting. I think it's the first time I've had a bride wear a completely different colour dress. So I've had lots of like champagnes and ivories, and so a little bit different from the white dress. But yeah, so she went full on red, which looked amazing because they didn't want anything traditional anyway. They had the wedding. They had a ceremony at a wedding venue, but they had the rest of the wedding in a marquee in their garden. So it was a very small wedding. So it was all very much, they just didn't want anything kind of too traditional. So yeah, she wore a red dress. I'm sure she works in theatre. So she had someone, like a friend who was a costume designer, make it for her.
Wow.
So it's all made to fit and everything. And it just looked amazing. But he didn't know anything about it, the groom. So when he saw her, it was just like, ah.
Really? I bet
Yeah.
that looks so dramatic wearing red as well.
Did.
That's a
And
real.
I'm trying to remember, I think their wedding was April. Yeah, I'm sure it was April. So it was just kind of springtime. So there's lots of colour around anyway. And they got married at Marks. They had the ceremony at Marks Hall in Coggeshall. So they've got these really nice, like, kind of, I was going to say walled garden, but it's walled by a hedge. So it's really bright and colourful in there. It did rain most of the day, which is a bit of a shame.
Oh,
But
dear.
she stood out so well against all the backdrops everywhere because it's just this bright red dress. So
Oh, I bet that was so nice to photograph, wasn't it?
yeah. And I think it's quite a daring thing to do, is to wear something red on your wedding day, because everyone's expecting you to be in white, aren't they?
Yeah, that's so
It's just
cool,
shocking
isn't
for
it?
everyone.
Because I saw my photographer friend Vicky Kate got married recently, and she's very sort of gothic and into that kind of stuff in it. And she looked amazing. She sort of had like a smoky black dress, so it sort
Wow.
of graduated from like a light grey into a dark one, and
Mhm.
she looked amazing. So
Yeah.
I think that's really, if you could be brave enough, I think it looks so cool if you sort of make that statement.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of those, not ones that I photographed, but I've seen a lot of photos popping up through the summer of dresses where they're kind of dip dyed as well, like blue and
Yeah.
like ombre effect. So I did have a bride this year actually who had a slight ombre effect in her dress with like I want to say like peachy colour. So the bottom of the dress was peach and then it kind of come up to ivory.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
that looked really lovely, but it's really subtle. So you wouldn't have noticed it unless you were kind of you probably would have looked at me like, her dress isn't white, but you wouldn't have noticed it straight away, if you know what I mean.
Oh.
So that was really lovely. But something really dramatic, like a blue dress or something, I think that'd be really quite fun. But I don't think I'd be brave enough to do it, would you?
No, I don't think I would. And as
No.
much as like, yeah, we didn't go for a church wedding or anything, so white probably was a bit daft, I suppose. But yeah, I just didn't. It's that hard thing that you do want to feel like the bride, and that's kind of what the tradition
Yeah.
of it and everything. But then, yeah, like, I would have probably quite enjoyed wearing black actually because it would have been a bit more flattering on me as well. So yeah, it's really hard because white's a hard colour to wear actually, isn't
Yeah.
it? So yeah,
But it's also the only time in your life that you'll ever wear a fully white dress.
yeah. Oh, that's
So
so
that's
true.
that's what it was for me. Like I wanted that because I knew I'd never ever do that again.
Yeah, that's
So
so true.
it just seemed like it just seemed like the only time I'd do it. So I just don't think I could do colour. I love the look of them, but I just don't know whether I'd be brave enough to do it. And there's even like flowery dresses now, isn't there? I think it's Charlotte Balbier who's got a wedding dress that's like got all like roses all over it.
Oh, that's cool.
So
Oh, I think maybe if I had the budget, if I could have both, so if sort of maybe change in the evening, that would be a good way around it. If I had, a bigger budget, get the best out of both worlds. But
I'd love to hear from listeners. Like if you're listening and planning a coloured dress, let us know. Or if you did wear one, let us know because that'd be really fun to find out. Because let's know if other people are braver than us.
Yeah, definitely. And so from your actual own wedding as well, Kerrie, we're obviously going to recap with all of that. So we hope it went well, and was it everything that you hoped it would be?
Yeah, it was amazing. I'm sure everyone says that about their own wedding day.
But it's so cool, isn't it? Were you just on cloud nine for like a little while afterwards?
Just like the entire day, it was mad. Like the week before was quite stressful with all the last minute plans and getting everything set up and everything. But the actual day itself was amazing, and I could have easily redone the day over and over again, but I would never do the week before the wedding ever again.
Yeah, I think that's so true. There's so many little things, isn't it? And the stress of it all coming together. I mean, it's lovely when it does, but did you have any blips in the run up, or was it just putting it all together that was stressful?
We didn't have a huge amount of blips, but we had a few issues with communication with our suppliers.
Right, yeah.
It stressed me out quite a bit. I just found it really hard, really difficult because I don't know if it's just me being overly organised and a bit OCD in my own business, but I always check in with my couples the week before the wedding, even if I've had loads of communication with them, just to say, hi, just to let you know everything's still going to plan. I will be there with you at this time. Really looking forward to your wedding. I do it with every single couple, and I attach the timeline as well so they can see all the timings that we planned out on the group shots and stuff. I do it without fail to everyone. But I just found that so many of my suppliers were contacting me like 2-3 days before going, oh, what time do you want us to be there? And I was like,
oh my goodness.
are you being serious right now?
Yeah, because you're so busy, aren't you, doing stuff? You just don't have the time, do you?
I think especially if you're doing a wedding like the two of us did. So we DIY'd everything. So we were the ones up there getting things set up and dealing with all those last minute problems. To then be thrown a spanner in the work like, oh, I can't remember what time I said I was going to be there.
Yeah. Yeah, because you want it all to be sorted. I mean, you've paid everyone. You want it all to be sorted, don't you? By that point, maybe it's different if you've got a venue. I don't know if I did it the same as you, Kerrie. It was DIY. So again, you have to be the person who touches base with everyone. So maybe at venues it's a bit better because I don't know if they take away that stress. Yeah, but
it wasn't all of our suppliers, but there was a few that was just like, seriously, this is not what I need right now.
No,
especially when you've kind of mentioned to them before, oh, can you be there at this day to do your job? I don't want to name any names because all our suppliers were lovely, but it's just that little bit of stress. I was like, oh, seriously?
Yeah, we had that where it all came together absolutely fine and everybody did what they were supposed to, but it was exactly the same, like touching base with quite major aspects of the day, and they hadn't got a clue, and they'd mixed me up with somebody else at one point, and that stressed me out. They were like, oh yeah, you thought this and this, and I was like, that's not me. And so yeah, I think
bad, isn't it?
Yeah,
but I would say that as well, that Caroline Gould, who's been on our podcast before, was it the first season she was on? I can't remember now. I think it was because it's before your wedding, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or after your wedding. But
Yeah, I
anyway,
think it was the first one.
Yeah, she's a wedding coordinator. We'll have to find the episode for you. But she was worth her money far and beyond. Like we should have paid her triple because
Oh, that's so good.
she was just so amazing on the day. Like the Friday, we're up there setting up and just running out of time to get everything done. And she was there like arranging flowers because I'd bought all the flowers in ourselves for the tables and stuff. So she was there arranging all the flowers. She was helping me kind of set up all the bunting. She was when the tablecloths arrived for the tables, they were too short. That was my only bridezilla moment.
Oh,
I was like,
no.
well, the tablecloths are too short, and it sounds like it's such a silly thing to get not angry about, but upset over, because I was like, well, you're going to be able to see everyone's feet, especially on the top table. Like all our feet would have been poking out the bottom, and it's just like we didn't have posh tables; they were just trestle tables. So that's why I wanted to cover them. So I was just like, this just looks terrible.
Oh no, what did
my
you
whole
do?
family just kind of stood there watching, like, well, what can we do about it? Like,
Oh, I know. I hate that when everyone looks at you and says, what do we do? And you're like, I don't know what to do.
And I'm sure they will look at me like a bit mad, like it's just a tablecloth. But I was like, no, this isn't how it should look.
Oh no, what did you do then?
So while we were trying to figure out what to do, Caroline had already been on the phone to our caterer, and our caterer managed to get us some better tablecloths.
Oh, that's good.
So I was like, oh, like just sorting that out that quickly was amazing.
Oh,
but it did mean that I couldn't, because I really wanted to set the room up before I left and see how it was going to be. But it did mean that I couldn't do that. So because the caterer was been there till the day after. So Caroline and her assistant ended up setting up the whole room for me the morning of the wedding.
Did they? Wow.
So that was a bit stressful.
But that's great, because imagine if you hadn't had her, you would have had to get ushers on it and bridesmaids and yeah.
I was a bit like over the top in the fact that I really want to photograph the room before it was done as well.
Oh, did you? Yeah, that's understandable.
I didn't do that because it wasn't set up. So I was like, oh, I really wanted to do that to be able to give like suppliers photos and stuff. But that was the only thing that was stressing me out, because I just really wanted to get those nice photos. But I had to let go of it and let my photographer do it the day after, and it was all fine. But you know, when you kind of control freak in you, who's like, I just want to do this myself.
Yeah, oh, definitely. What would be your tips, do you think, for kind of being realistic about stuff when maybe stuff doesn't go to plan, with kind of trying to sort of, like you said, let it go? Like what?
I think you just deal with it, don't you? Because when that happened, I was just a bit like, I think Russell says to me all the time that it annoys the thing that annoys him the most about me is that I hate to inconvenience anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, just, you're not inconveniencing people, just ask them a question or ask them to do something. And I really struggle with that. I'd like to just do everything myself, and then I know it's done properly and things. So I think that was the thing that kind of I noticed a lot about myself on the kind of week of the wedding, was that I just wanted to do everything myself, and I had a really hard time letting that go.
Yeah.
But I think when things do go wrong, suddenly in my head I was just like, oh well, that will do, it'll be all right, no one else knows.
That's good. So it's just kind of having that little voice in your head to kind of go, it's okay, it will be all right. Yeah. And don't freak out.
But it's hard when you've kind of had the vision in your head for so long and then it doesn't turn out that way.
Yes.
But I think you do just deal with it. It gets to the point where you're like, oh, I can't be bothered anymore.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I think you're exhausted, aren't you? By the time the actual day comes, you just want to just go for it, don't you? So yeah. No, it is really tricky, I think, and yeah. So I've gone off on a tangent.
Another reason why we're talking about communication as well, I think it's really important on the other side. So if you're dealing with your suppliers and stuff and they're getting in contact with you about stuff, don't delay getting back to them, especially about timings on the day and things. I have it a few times with my couples where I'm chasing up timelines or group shots or something. I really like to try and get that stuff sorted like 3 months, that's very organised, 3 weeks before the wedding. Just so that I'm not doing that to my couples on the wedding day or like the week of the wedding. I'm not contacting them going, oh, we need to plan your group photos, or because that's the last thing you want to be thinking about on the week of the wedding. So
I totally agree. And if anything has changed or something, you don't want to be doing those like last minute night before, like you just don't want to be doing that. You want to get it all sorted way before, I think, don't you, Kerrie? So yeah, I think that's so true.
So plan your timings out. Listen to our timing episode, which I think is one of our most popular episodes. Everyone listens to that one. Plan them out like as early as you can. As soon as you know kind of the main parts of the day, like your ceremony time and what time you should be sitting down for dinner, then you can really get on and give your timings over to your suppliers, and then you don't have to think about them again until the week before the wedding when they should contact you.
Yeah, no, exactly. And do listen to people as well. So if they've said be ready by this time or have this set up, like read the notes that people send you to and make sure you do it, because lots of times in the morning, you know, we've set out everything really nicely for a schedule, and then it just gets ignored. So
Yeah.
you know, if you want it to run smoothly, do kind of pay a little bit. You can go with the flow a bit, but keep on track of time, especially if you're getting ready in the morning. Like, I can't say enough how it will start off really slowly, and then suddenly all the time will disappear, and you don't want to be rushing. You don't want to be feeling hot and sweaty and stressed when you want to be feeling lovely and glamorous and taking your time. So yeah,
exactly.
Allow lots of time.
I know we did go over that on the time episode as well, but like, I think something will go wrong in the morning as well. Like, Russell forgot the wedding ring, so we had to go back to the hotel room and get the wedding ring.
Oh man!
So you know, you have to allow yourself buffer time for things like that are going to happen. It's inevitable that something is going to be forgotten or something's going to go wrong.
That's
so just
such
make sure.
A good point, actually, Kerrie, because I kind of knew I was organised, but it was actually my dad that wasn't organised on the day, and he forgot something from his hotel, and I had to drive him and go and get it. So also, don't always, even though you might be on it, do have that buffer time. That's such good advice, because someone else might make a cock up. So
this has just reminded me, my dad as well, he was driving me to the ceremony, and he was borrowing a friend's car because my dad's only got a van. So, and it wasn't like a posh car, it was just to get us there, because no one's going to see me arrive anyway, and we're all in one place. So, but he didn't want to take me in his van.
Bless him.
So he borrowed a friend's car. Or did he? I don't know. Anyway, the car, my dad does lots of car boot sales and things, and our wedding was on a Saturday. And on a Saturday, he likes to go around the car boot sales buying things, and then on Sunday he sells them on. Got a little business on the go.
That's good, yeah.
So I was like, we're joking like the weeks before the wedding. I was like, oh, you're not doing a boot sale on Saturday? He goes, no, I won't. And of course he did. So on his way to the boot sale, the car that he was going to drive us to the wedding in broke down. So luckily this is about 6 a.m, because he goes really early to them. So he managed to get someone to kind of tow him home, and then he got another car to take us. So in a way it was a blessing in disguise, because if he hadn't have gone to that boot sale in the morning, the car probably would have broken down on the way to the wedding.
Oh my God, imagine that. How unlucky is that? Was it like an old car?
No, not really. We call it the Mitchell luck. Something always goes wrong in the Mitchell family.
So that, like you said though, that's actually quite fortunate. Yeah. Imagine how stressed out you would have been. Goodness me. Yeah. That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. I didn't know anything about it until my sister-in-law turned up, and she goes, oh, did you know your dad's car broke down this morning? I was like, what?
So what did he take you in the end? He took you in?
I can't remember the situation, but I think it must have been another friend's car that he borrowed. I can't remember whose car it was.
God, that's good, but they all just sorted it out without stressing you out as well. That's really good as well, if they didn't have to like make you panic.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
I'd completely forgotten about that until you mentioned your dad. I was like, oh my gosh,
so it's always the dad. So there we go. So everybody, always sort your dad. Actually, it's always dads who will ask to get changed as well. They're always in the shower when you should be leaving the house and stuff. Yeah.
That is nice. So, men always think it only takes them like 2 minutes to get dressed, doesn't it? But it's like, just get dressed early. Get yourself ready.
Because you've probably left a tie somewhere or something like that. Definitely. So now we've told the dads off, we can
move on now.
Yeah.
But it's so true, like making sure everyone around you is organised and knows what times things are happening. Yeah. Things like hair and makeup, if your bridesmaid knows that they're having their hair done at this time, to make sure that they're there if they didn't stay over. That's always handy as well.
And then they don't have to bother you either and keep asking you questions when you want to just relax and clear your head a bit. So
yeah.
And one thing that you did say, Kerrie, that you saw quite a bit this year was lots of dogs. So I'm really jealous.
Oh, did you not see many?
I didn't have any dogs this year. I don't think. No, so I'm really jealous, because I love pets.
Dogs at weddings are my most favourite thing ever. I think there should be more dogs at weddings.
Yeah.
But I have seen quite a few this year. I've even had cats, but that's only because it was at the house where the marquee was, the bride in the red dress.
My God,
so there was lots
really?
of cats. But yeah, dogs at weddings are just my favourite, especially when they're involved in like the ceremony and stuff. I don't think I had any in the ceremony. I had a dog who was allowed in the church this year, so kind of walked down the aisle.
That's good.
And walked down during confetti and stuff, so that was really nice. But I haven't had any dogs that have been ring bearers, but Tag was our ring bearer. He did a very good job, I'd just like to say. I don't want to give too much away, because I've got an episode coming up all about our wedding story, but my proudest moment of our wedding day was when Tag walked down the aisle.
Oh, did it get you all teary? Is my baby?
Yeah. We both just turned around at the point and was like, come on in, Tag. And he was like, me?
Oh, okay. He did everything he was supposed to then.
Yeah, he did so well. I was
That's
so proud of him.
good. Yeah, so we're going to be having a little chat with Kerrie. And am I allowed to say who we're speaking to? Yeah, so you're also going to be meeting her husband as well. So hopefully he's going to come on and have a chat as well. So that's exciting.
I told him this yet, but I'm going to... The episode about our wedding story is going to be me and Russell telling it to you because Katie won't be here. But so that should be interesting. So make sure you tune in for that one. And I think I'm going to bring that one up next week as well. So that'd be quite fun for everyone.
Yeah, I think that'd be really nice. So yeah, so we'll recap on that in a little bit more detail. But yeah. So yeah, we like dogs. Please bring your pets to your weddings.
Especially when you get dogs who are wearing like bow ties or like flower garlands around their necks or dogs.
I love it. Yeah, definitely. So I think overall it's been a good summer, hasn't it, Kerrie? The weather's been a bit rubbish at times, but we had
a really good summer at the beginning of the year, didn't we? Like the weather was really good at the beginning, and then it's just turned for the worse since we kind of got to August.
Yeah,
when the kids broke up from school, that's when it turned terrible.
Yeah, that's so true. So yeah, good old English weather. So always be careful with that one as well if you're planning your wedding. Like, do have a plan B in case.
Yeah, go listen to
another bad summer. Yeah,
listen to our episode all about planning for bad weather. That's another one that's listened to a lot as well. I noticed when I was looking back at the stats.
Yeah, so we hope that we've been a little bit useful. But we should hopefully have lots of really, really good people coming up this season to help you on your way. But again, if anything you want to hear, anything that you're stuck on, join our Facebook group and let us know because we'd love to help you more. So
definitely. And then you can keep in touch with Katie because this is the last time you're going to see her face this season. Take it in, everyone.
I know, and I've hardly got any makeup on as well, so everything like that's gone out the window in place of comfort. So so hopefully I'll keep you all posted as well and send you boring pictures of babies and stuff. Everything goes okay, hopefully.
I feel like I'm saying goodbye to you forever, but good luck with the baby.
And I will be back, everybody, I promise. As soon as I sort my head out and get adjusted to my new life, then I will be back again.
Well, thank you so much for joining us for the very first episode of season 4, Katie, and we'll see you all soon.
Thank you, everybody. Take care. Thanks, Kerrie. See you later. Bye.
Thanks for listening. We really hope you enjoyed this episode of Get Wed. Don't forget you can always subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, and whilst you're there you may as well leave us a review. Join us for more wedding chat in our Facebook group if you just can't wait until next week. You'll find all the links you need via our website, including the show notes from this episode over at getwedpodcast.co.uk. We'll see you next time. Happy planning!